Hi. I got a few comments about this stove and the pot that I had on it yesterday, and I wanted to just check something out. First off, I had some people ask me some dimensions on this particular stove. I did make this myself. It is a WhiteBox type stove, not a WhiteBox stove. It is 2 inches in diameter and 2 inches in height, with the jets being at the, not quite exactly, but almost 1 inch, just a hair below that, so 7/8 inch from the bottom, or 1 7/8 inch, or 1 1/8 inch from the top. There are 17 jets going around it, and it is 18 centimeters around, so 1 every centimeter. On the inside of the pot, the inside of the stove, I put some relief, 3 relief holes. I did one other thing that was 100% by accident, but I did it anyway, and I don't know if it affected the stove in any way. I put an additional hole through the stove entirely, from here all the way to the inner side. And that hole is, I don't know if it's relieving pressure from the stove or what it's doing, or if it's doing anything at all, but it was by accident. I originally was going to put my jets at that height, and when I realized when I went through completely that the walls were too close together at that point, so I needed to drop it down another centimeter because the walls weren't together at that point. So where my holes are on this stove is just below where the 2 walls of the inner and outer come together. And this hole is literally, the aluminum is pressed against the other side of the aluminum. There's no space between them. So I don't know that this hole does anything. In fact, that hole may be where the flame was shooting up the side of the pot yesterday. There's no fuel at that height, so it's not fuel, it's just gas coming out there. And my guess would be it's catching fire from the flame below it. So what I want to do tonight is test this stove with a different pot. Yesterday's boil times were pretty amazing, I thought, at 2 minutes and 24 seconds. So I got my standard grease pot, which I have a lot of stoves that have done a boil on the grease pot. So I want to check the boil time on the grease pot. And this is my first run, so you and I will both know at the same time. And I've got 2 cups of water, same as yesterday. And I've also did it at room temperature, same as yesterday. I'm going to put this on here. No, I'm not. I'm going to put the fuel in, which I'm going to put the same amount of fuel I put in yesterday, which is about 3/4 of an ounce, because if you put an ounce in this one, it actually comes out the jets. So you can't put a full ounce in there. And it's hard to tell when you're there, but you can actually see it splashing on the side once you've hit it. It actually will leak out if you put too much in there. So I'm trying to get to that same height, because if you recall yesterday it boiled out right after we were done, I think at just about 3 minutes. I don't know the exact time. I usually cook with my strainer in there. It lets me take off and look and see if there's a boil. Okay, don't want to put that on yet, but I'm just testing things. I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to move my other ruler out the way. I'm going to light it up. I don't have my timer, so I'm going to have to use a timer from that when we get it going. Mark? And yesterday I kind of, lit the flames as they went. They were starting to burn right as I lit them, so we're going to let them get going here and wait for it just to come to a boil, which it'll start doing rather quickly on this one. You can see your little bubbles inside. You don't want to stick your face over this effort because there's a lot of flame there. Very dangerous, so you don't want to stick your face over it. But you can see that the starting to boil now, and that generally means I don't even need to do it because it did it itself. That's what happened yesterday. And of course I put my pot on and just center it up a little bit. It's hard to center it up when you have flames coming out the side. In fact, you should probably center it up with a tool, not your hands.
Dad?
Yes, sir. We're going to let that cook for about 3 minutes and see what we get on it. We'll let it go here. I'm going to step around the other side and turn off the light for just a second and see how those flames are rolling around the outside of the pot. Sometimes you can see them better when you dim the light a little bit. So, not too bad. Actually, you get some pretty good light there. Yesterday when I turned the light off, I got horrible lighting. You can see it's rolling around the pot. We don't need the full brightness. We'll go right there. So we'll let this go, and then we'll check the time in just a minute. And we'll see how it does. I'm wearing my Philmont shirt from when I went to New Mexico on a 98-mile hike with my boys. I have 2 sons that are in Scouts, and we did 1 year we did 98 miles, and 2 years prior to that we did about 89 miles in New Mexico in the Rocky Mountains. So it was a lot of fun for us, and I'm mentioned on a video that I'm looking to do the Appalachian Trail this fall. The first hike I'm looking to do is 89 miles. So trying to find the perfect mix of stoves. That's why I got into all these stoves in the first place, is I was trying to find the right stove mixture for hiking, ultralight camping, and such forth. So I guess that's the same reason we all do the stoves, is we're trying to find that light stove, and then it slowly takes over as a hobby. So that's why I kind of do all these. Getting a real good flame off this. I don't know that I'll have the same cook time, because without that heat exchange on the bottom of the pot, it's just a standard stove hitting it. Although the flame is hitting perfectly around the edges. This ran out yesterday at 3 minutes, so we'll see when it runs out today, or just under 3 minutes of flame from there. So we'll see when it runs out today. I don't know that 3 minutes will boil in this pot here. It did a good job of boiling it yesterday in the Prima Express? I don't know. I'd have to look at it. Primus. I'm sorry, that's what it was. So I'm not hearing any boiling yet. Oh, there. Okay, now I'm hearing some boiling, just a little bit. Yeah, there it goes. You can hear it start to rumble just a little bit. Not a boil, but definitely a rumble. In this pot, I've got the sound of the boil down pretty good. If I stop talking, I can hear better. Right, here we go. Nope. See how I move ahead of time. And as soon as you take the lid off this pot, it loses all its heat. Now, it's going to burn out on us too. So no, can't get a boil on this pot with that particular amount of fuel. Now, I was pretty close to a boil there, because I could hear it rumbling away. What I did not have was, I did not overflow these. And I don't want that. I don't want fuel leaking out of these when I'm cooking on a bench or I'm cooking on the ground, because I'm trying to avoid having to have that priming plate. It's just one more thing you got to carry. So this would not work with my favorite pot, which is the lightest pot that I have, but does boil with the other pot. So there's our test. Must have been the pot that did that for us. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.